You don't have weak ideas. You have unfinished ones. You understand things, but when you try to say them, they don't land because you're posting the thought before it's ready.
So I think from a very young age, I sort of had ambitions to be entrepreneurial. I started playing music. I started playing drums when I was like 10, 11 years old. And then when I was like 14, I was in school and I had like a little band that I got together and I wanted to go out and do some gigs, but we had like no music recorded. We had no press kit, nothing. So I was like knocking doors of music venues saying like, can you book my band? And the answer was no, there was nothing. You know, we were just kids. So I took it into my own hand and just hired a venue. Cost me £100 to hire this venue. And I went out and printed posters, printed tickets, and sold them around my school. And over the next couple of weeks, I sold all of the tickets, sold the show out, and performed my first ever gig to a sold out audience and made like £500 off the back of it.
Now you can see patterns. You notice what works. You understand behavior. That's not your problem anymore. Your problem is this. You don't know how to turn something that you see into something that people remember.
It's just like a gradual thing where I just got more confident as I did the reps. So really the only way to do it is to just get yourself on camera more. And then over time, you're just going to get so comfortable. And then once you can get to the in-person events, you're golden. In 2020 or 2021, I was actually one of the largest Fortnite creators for the custom games we were running. So we were hosting like 400, 500, 600 average viewers. We had over 2,000 subscribers, one of the largest ones. Unfortunately, my Discord did get banned. I got hacked and I even got swatted. It was insane. I had like police come into my house and everything. So it was a wild experience. The community in gaming and all that is just a lot different than what it is right now on LinkedIn. So I'm kind of like more liking the LinkedIn community and the business community over like the old gaming community.
This is what I see all the time. Creators understand something, but they post it too early. You're not sharing insights. You are posting drafts, half-processed thinking, and that is why it feels weak.
Now, this is because we need to build trust in the middle. So usually people put CTAs in the content of, if you want to get X result, DM me this keyword, send me a message with this keyword, and I'll help you. Now that works, yes, but there is only 3% of the market. There's a rule, the 3%. Only 3% of the market is ready to buy right now, versus the other 97% are kind of in the middle.
Inside is finished thinking, not more thinking. Finished. It takes you a minute to explain something. You're not done, you're still figuring it out. And no one remembers that. They remember clarity.
What you have to remember is that there are two sides of this. The one side that I feel people talk about too much is obviously it's a platform and it has an algorithm. So bearing in mind these nuances of, you know, what can help you push your content forward, it's great to know to kind of help yourself that way. However, that is just, you know, the very small part of it. The most important part is what you write and how you write it.
You think your job is to explain. It's not. Your job is to decide what matters, what stays, what gets cut. But you don't decide. You include everything. And when everything is included, nothing stands out. Here's the rule. If you cannot say it in one sentence, you're not done. One sentence forces clarity, decision, position. No sentence, no insight.
I actually hated sales. I really hated sales. And I don't know when I got comfortable with it, but I guess it was when I started to think about it differently of, I can help solve people's problem. And when you think about it like that, that changes it a little bit, because the mentality of I've got to sell something, I've got to convince somebody to buy my stuff, that feels icky. But if I go, well, hang on a minute, all I'm doing is looking for people with a problem I can help them with. I don't know if somebody has that problem. And so suddenly I'm just trying to discover if there's a fit. And I know that word's overused, but if there's no fit, there's no sale. And if there is a fit, there's a sale. And I think the more you just think about it as having a conversation with people and seeing if they have a problem that you can solve. And you take all the pressure off yourself, the easier it gets. I think the pressure, you know, that kind of, we call it sweaty palm behavior. When you're so eager, your palms are sweaty. If you get into that state, you will do things that are just weird, basically. So for me, it was the reframe of, I can't sell to anybody, but I can help try and find people with a problem.
You don't have ideas. You have half ideas that haven't finished, and you're posting them anyway. That's why your content feels right to you, but forgettable to anyone else. When you finish your thinking, your content becomes clear. And clear ideas stick. Take your last idea and force it into one sentence. If it's not one sentence, it's not ready. Next video, how to do this on demand. Subscribe for more.